were you going to follow up on something else after that?
Just generally, the issue of Crimea and of territory that is now controlled by Russia. Does the Secretary believe that a balanced proposal would have Russia also making some concessions?
The Secretary's made statements actually recently in an interview, and I'll read some of those comments. I think he has also said, though, that there's going to have to be concessions on both sides. He's made that clear. We also know that the details of those concessions were not going to be discussed or agreed upon until there was a ceasefire. And that dynamic still exists. But the Secretary's been clear from the start that there would be concessions from both sides in this regard. He has also said, I remain hopeful that we can get something done because this is a terrible war and it needs to end. He also says that there is no military solution to this war. Russia is not just going to roll over Ukraine and take the whole country, and Ukraine's not going to push them all the way back to where they were before 2014. He says we have a better understanding of the Russians' position now because we've actually spoken to them after 3 years of not speaking to them. And at some point we determined that we're just too far apart and I should say, if at some point we determine that we're just too far apart and not enough movement is happening, we may need to move on to other priorities because there's a lot of important things happening in the world. Lastly, ultimately, it's not up to us. It's up to Russia and it's up to Ukraine. They have to make the decision that they're willing to move closer to one another, and we need to see progress.
Indulge me just a moment. If it's up to Russia and it's up to Ukraine, how does the Secretary feel about the fact that it's been, according to the calendar and Zelensky, 44 days since Ukraine accepted the U.S. proposal for a third ceasefire?
Of course.
And Russia last night bombed Kyiv. With, so far, the death count was 12 people.
Yes, the president messaged again on Truth Social. He was not happy with that. There has been a number of comments from both men. And of course, that action the president was not happy with. So, you know, we're at a point here, and when I think it's important to also note that when Secretary Rubio's noted, you know, we can't keep doing this, what he's specifically referring to is flying in a moment of notice to another part of the globe to talk with people, to have meetings, perhaps about meetings. It's not that we're walking away from the desiring peace or wanting to assist with peace as it's developed, but the process with which we've engaged in this for 100 days would have to be adjusted because our front is global. That front is that front. There is Europe. And it's just a matter of not certainly abandoning anything, but not doing things the way that we have been doing them.